It is, each of us has had at some point or the other an unpopular opinion. Of course, every opinion is unpopular among somebody or the other. But generally, in Hafta discussions, certain opinions stand out. So we'll discuss those one at a time. So let's start with the person who's joining us after the longest time, Mehraj. So Mehraj, what is your unpopular opinion that you're quite confident the rest of the panel will not agree with?
One of the reasons for the problems that India faces now, social, economic, and increasingly administrative, one of the root causes of that is the idea of nationalism. And I don't mean in the sense of Hindu nationalism, but more in the, the traditional sense of the term, what a nation means.
Right.
And I'll just explain why I say that. So basically, when you talk about nationalism, the core belief of nationalism is that people become more equal, they become more free, and they become more modern when two things happen. One is that you kind of strip away their immediate communities and by extension their immediate identities, and then you coalesce them around a broader identity. That broader identity can be religion, it can be ethnicity, it can be, it can be language and the like. And in case of very large nation states such as India, it's invariably a piece of geography, a particular geography, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with its attendant symbols, flags, myths, imagined history, how it came into being. Now, obviously, this is necessary to build a nation state. You have to have that common thread to get like all these diverse groups of people pulling in somewhat of a same direction. And that's what the founders of this nation tried to do. Some of this is obviously, I mean, you can make an argument that some of this is good, right? You take, for example, caste inequality. Breaking down that caste inequality and supplanting it with something more egalitarian,
right?
This idea of nationalism, that's obviously good. But there are two problems, right? One is that when you talk about this broader identity, this specific idea of nationalism, you want to gather people around, or at least the majority of them. So if you start with the beginning of independent India, in the Nehruvian ideal of nationalism, that the foundation of that concept was you had, broadly speaking, you had secularism, you had representative democracy, and you had social inequality in the broad sense of that word. Today, the powers that be, they're building or recasting this idea around religion. That's why you have Hindu nationalism. Secularism isn't a good enough thread to bring people around because other people have competing interests, and that's disadvantageous them. So this idea of Hindu nationalism. Now, whether it's the Nehruvian idea or it's the Hindu nationalism vintage of it, when you implement it in a country as big and as diverse as India, it entails a few things. One is necessarily centralization. If you look at the debates of the Constituent Assembly, they had these discussions, whether India should be a purely federal state or whether it should be a unitary state. And then they kind of, concluded that we'll build this kind of a state which is sort of more a kind of a, mash of the two things. It'll have a federal character, but it'll be like with a strong center.
So what part of that do you think, Anand, you agree with, what disagree with, and what is inevitable, so it doesn't matter whether we agree or not?
Are you going to punch Mehraj through the screen?
There are too many thoughts there, so I will pick one by one, some of which I will miss because I can't recall everything. Yes, on the question of centralization, because there were fishiferous tendencies at the time of the birth of the independent Indian state, we deliberately chose a quasi-federal structure, which is only federal to an extent. So, and that suited the structure of Indian state. And the constitutional scheme is very quasi-federal. We are not federal in the sense of a classical formation like like US. So that ship has sailed. So it is a kind of historical decision, and we are seeing different ramifications of it now. Now, on the question of now theoretical questions about nationalism are old. The critique of it emerged, some of which Mehraj touched upon, like say in theoretical ways, Benedict Anderson's idea of nations being imagined communities, but there are also countercurrents to it, that they are lived communities. If people say that nationalism is a primitive idea, so are other ideas primitive. A lot of good side of human nature is also very primitive. So and the human beings say this urge to identify themselves into a grouping which is territorially marked, as nations are, territory forming a large part of what a nation state is. And in Europe, the empires gave way to nation states.
With that, we also would like to tell you, people now finally are proud of supporting independent media. Those of you who've been supporting us for years have always been proud. We've always had those stickers, but now we are relaunching them. If you want to tell the world you support independent media, you are the ones holding the fourth pillar up. You are the pillars holding the fourth pillar up. Here, there are these stickers all over my face. If you're a subscriber already, mail us at subscription@newslaundry.com with the email, which is your subscription email, and we'll send you the set of stickers for free. You will please have to pay for the courier charges, because if several thousand people write into us, our courier charges will go into the lakhs. So pay the courier charge and we will send you the stickers for free. Stick it on your car, on your cycle, on your scooter, on your window, on your neighbor's car bumper. Tell the world that you pay to keep news free. Encourage others. And if you're a non-subscriber, we're offering you a discount. Here is a QR code. Scan the QR code or click on the link in the show notes and you will get this sticker set for free with the subscription, along with the subscription, of course. Okay, let's go to Jayashree, because we also want to come to Jayashree and Anand's unpopular opinions. Yes, Jayashree.
Yeah, I mean, I find very little to disagree with Mehraj. I think this entire mythical idea of a nation where we stand in the world, and I also do feel nationalism has sort of outlived its usefulness. At one point, it sort of meant this belonging without othering or whatever. But currently, I mean, it's artificial constructs like a constitutional identity or, a national framework that we are all part of. And I don't know how useful that is anymore. And also, I think it's like a very childish urge. It's like saying my football team is better than your football team. That kind of...
That's not childish, Jayashree, please.
I have more
Kuch to maryada rakhiye. Kuch to maryada rakhiye.
Bring in all the unpopular opinions. It's like football fans get so blinkered because everything follows from my team is better than all other teams. And I know I'm sort of mixing up nationalism and patriotism, but I think that is also how it broadly kind of plays out in my head in the way I see it around me today. It's like nationalism plays out the same way as a football fan, but with greater consequences because you're sacrificing things like tolerance and compassion for your football team. Like, how dare anyone insult the coach of my team? I will do anything for my football team. I will abuse anyone who abuses my football team. I will kill people who dislike my football team. I will, oppress a group who does not support my football team enough. So I think when you flip it like that, it is childish. It is a...
Yeah, although I do think that this is taking the most extreme view and framing your entire argument with the extreme view in the opposition, which is a strawman argument. I think you can have a favorite football team and not want to kill people for it. I mean, we had examples of...
No. So I'm saying it can be like that, just that when you flip the script to sort of mimic the same kind of instincts that would follow you to support a football team. I'm not saying one is the other. I'm saying it is similar to me in that it doesn't actually mean anything more.
Right.
I don't see what more it could mean.
Okay. What is your unpopular opinion?
Actually speaking, Barcelona is the best team in the world. So
it does. There you go.
The unpopular opinions are pouring in today.